Hey everyone, I'm Brad Wood. I'm a solutions consultant here at Sketch Development, and in this video, we're going to be looking at the all-new Jira formula fields. This is a brand new feature and something that I am really excited to share with you today. We'll look at how these are configured and some example use cases. At Sketch Development, we're an Atlassian solutions partner, and we work with teams on consulting, licensing, and training across the entire Atlassian toolset. We're always excited for new features in the Atlassian ecosystem and can't wait to share the updates with you. So with that, let's jump over to Jira and look at the all-new formula fields. So like I said, formula fields are a brand new custom field type in Jira, and they enable you to display calculated data directly on your Jira work items. These fields can automatically calculate values based on formulas that are configured, saving you time, energy, and eliminating the need for manual calculations. So let's start configuring one of these and see how these work. So I'm just going to click on Create New Field, and I'm going to select the formula field type, which is about halfway down here. Then you can give it a name and a description, and then you need to select the space that it's associated with. And so you can either choose all spaces or a single space. We'll just leave this on all spaces for now. And then we can choose the formula output for this field. So we've got a number of different options here, including number, text, date, and duration. We'll just leave this on number for now. And then you can configure the formula and set the output format for this particular formula field. So for example, on a number formula field, if I click format, I can change this from number to percentage to currency, and we'll see some examples of different output formats when I show you some fields that I've already configured in this Jira instance. Let's go back to formula, and you can see it's kind of got an example here of how the how the format of the formulas work. And so in this case, amount times price, those are just custom fields that it's using as an example. You could have divide or add or subtract here as your operator, or you can use Rovo to generate a formula. So let's do that now. So I'm going to click on generate formula, and I'm going to say calculate the difference between cost estimate and actual cost. And those are just custom fields that I've got in this Jira instance. Let's submit that to Rovo and see what it comes back with. All right, so Rovo has given us this formula, and again, very simple, just two custom fields, one subtracted from the other, so cost estimate minus actual cost. If I'm happy with this, I can click accept, and that will paste the formula up here into the formula field. I can discard this altogether if I don't think this is right or I don't need it anymore, or I can click retry if Rovo hasn't quite gotten it right. And of course, with everything Rovo related in Jira and Confluence, etc., you can give Atlassian feedback on how Rovo did. So I'll just click accept because this looks correct to me. And if I was happy with this, I'd given it a name, etc., I would just come down here and click create, and that would create the custom field. So enough about configurations. Let's look at some of these that are already configured, and we'll see some examples of different types of formulas and different outputs. And for that, I'm going to jump over to Jira. And this is just a sample work item I've got here in Jira. In my pinned field section, I have three different formula fields. You can see remaining budget, risk score, WSJF score. You can see the outputs or the values for those fields are a little bit different for each of these. So we've got currency, like we saw just a second ago, just kind of a raw number here. And then this is actually a text output, and I'll talk more about that in just a second. Notice as I hover over these fields, these are not editable. You can click on them to see the formula, which is actually really helpful. So for example, WSJF, we can click on this, and here's the WSJF calculation that we're using for this field. But let's look at these tabs over here, and we can see how these values in the fields will update in real time. So I've got a tab for each of my formula fields here. I think this is a nice way to just keep these organized. You don't have to do this in your instance. These fields could be anywhere in your issue view. I just think this keeps things nice and tidy. So we see remaining budget is only 5,000 because the formula is cost estimate minus actual cost. Let's say our actual cost, we've actually only spent 10,000. So we'll add that to this field. And in real time, our remaining budget value is going to recalculate and update the field value right here. So it's almost instantaneous, which is really nice for your calculated fields. For risks, let's jump over here. I'm using just two numbers here. Again, these are just custom fields that I've created. We've got an impact of 5, a probability of 10, and it's outputting text here. So what this is actually doing is using a formula that has a numeric range. So we're saying if it's over a certain value, then output high risk. If it's between that value and another value, output medium risk, else output low risk. So my calculation here has determined that this is high risk. Let's change this value to, let's say, 2. And that's lowered this to medium risk. And so the idea here is just to showcase that your formula fields don't have to be numeric values. You can output text values as well, and they can be based on a numeric range. And then lastly, WSJF, we looked at the formula for that just a second ago, and we can update this in real time as well. So let's say our business value is not 20, it's actually 5. Our score is going to lower in real time right there. And these values, by the way, for WSJF may not be the values that you would use in the real world for WSJF. This is just for demo purposes and really showcasing that you can have those more complex and more sophisticated formulas for your formula fields. And by the way, in the description of this video, I will include a link to some Atlassian documentation that's very extensive about the different functions and the formatting and tips and tricks for your writing your own formulas for your formula fields. With that, let's talk about some benefits of formula fields. And so the first one is going to be really calculations with fewer automations. So in the past, maybe you've done this, maybe you haven't, but you could use automation to do something similar that we're doing with the formula fields here. The benefit from using the formula fields is going to be less automation rules to maintain and also less execution limits against your automation rule runs that you have in your instance. Next benefit, visibility directly on work items. So in the past, maybe you're exporting data out of Jira and using it in third-party apps for reports or calculations. No need to do that anymore. We can just do that directly in Jira. Our formula fields will be usable in JQL, which means you can search on them, you can use them in your filters, etc. And then I really do like that Rovo natural language prompt to help us write those formula fields. Especially if you're doing something complex, it can really help you and steer you in the right direction, or maybe even write the entire formula for you. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this look at formula fields in Jira and got some ideas on how you can use these in your own Jira instance. If you have any questions on this topic or anything else Atlassian related, please feel free to reach out to me via email or LinkedIn. Both of those will be included in the description of this video. Thanks again for watching and have a great day.